Hi, welcome to my Monday night live. My name is Carly and I'm the founder of the Spinal Flow Technique. And I'm super excited to be here and to answer any questions that you have. So if you are on here now, definitely, ask questions, say hello. I always like to know who's on here just so I'm not talking to myself. Um, I wanted to share today, I've had a few people that have submitted questions and asked me just about their own body and about if healing can happen for them. And I just really want to take a moment to acknowledge you and know, because I really I don't get what it feels like inside everybody's body, but I really understand that when your body shows pain or it shows disease and it shows illness, it is really scary and it's really hard to know who to see and how you can trust someone, and also to know if things are going to change for you. And so I just wanted to acknowledge you if you're on here and you are feeling like that, or your body is doing pain or tingling or numbness, or it has, you've been diagnosed with different types of disease and illness, that I really get that it is scary and it can be hard to know who to speak to. Or a lot of people could say, yeah, but I can help, and you might have tried a lot of people and you might have spent a lot of money, and maybe it hasn't worked for you. So I really get that that's a real thing, and I just want you to know that I really get it and I understand, because this is what I've done my whole life. I don't see clients anymore. My main thing now is just working with my spinal flow practitioners so they can really just hold the space for you and for your healing. But I do want to say, if your body is talking to you, or it's screaming at you, or it's showing you different signs and sensations, the question to ask is why? Like, what's happening or what's happened? Like, to really inquire, to look at, do you know why? Because you didn't come out like that. You didn't come out as little Bubba with pain or sensation or disease and illness. I know some people have, but majority of us don't. But what can happen with time, lots of time, is that we can have stress in our body, physical and chemical and emotional stress. And if that's not resolved, it can create these blockages in your spine and your nervous system. And if these blockages are in there, that can interfere with the messages from the brain to the nervous system and can create different types of, that light is driving me a little crazy. Maybe that's better. So that can be one of the causes. And so for you, do you remember when your body started to talk to you? And maybe it wasn't that it had pain. Maybe it was just a whisper. Like, it just sort of had a little bit of, oh, I'm not okay. Because sometimes before the pain or the sensation or the disease and illness comes, it might be a whisper there. So my question to you is to really look back at, if you have something now, you've been diagnosed, like, when did it start? When's the first time that you realized, I don't think I'm okay? And can you pinpoint why? And I can tell you why this is important, because even though I want you to see my spinal flow practitioners, because they are amazing and they're trained to help you, they're trained to look at your body, understand, interpret, feel, to see what's going on, and to do assessments to see, what's happening in your body. I want you to do that for sure, because for you to heal, to me, I believe that's the quickest, fastest way. But also for ongoing, it's really important that you know why, because it's great to have healing sessions, but if you're going to keep doing or creating, or the stress is still getting stored that created this, if we don't know and acknowledge and make a change, we can repeat the pattern over and over. So I do find it really important for you to really know. And how you could do this, you might just want to get some pieces of paper out. You might want to have one piece of paper that says physical stress, one piece of paper that says chemical stress, and one piece of paper that says emotional stress, and just write down all the stress that you've had in your life, like all the stresses that you've had, all the stresses that you've had in the past and the stresses that you have now, because the stresses in your past can still be stuck in your body, creating blockages. But the ones that you've got now are the ones that your practitioners have to fight against, really, because they're trying to remove stress, remove blockages, and take that out. But if you're putting them in just as fast, we're kind of getting like that. And we want healing to happen when change happens all the time and it's held in the body. So I do say always that, healing's a partnership. It's what happens on the table for you with your spinal flow practitioner is amazing, and it's beautiful, and it's creating more flow and less blockages and helping you connect to that healing intelligence that's inside you. That's amazing. And the part that you do at home is important too. So more and more layers of stress aren't coming in your body. And so my practitioners and myself, our biggest thing is to empower you to understand your body. So and you understand, that our life choices get stored in our body, but also that and you're aware of the wisdom that's in your body, because that's incredible. Your body has the ability to heal. Healing's an inside out job. I say that a lot on our calls. It's an inside out job. It comes from within. Healing's not about outside. What happens there is actually you have inside you the wisdom of the body has everything it needs inside to heal. And when we can allow that to flow up and down your spine and your nervous system, we call that spinal flow. And you've probably seen some of my videos or some of your practitioners working, and that can look different ways. It can look like the most subtle of movements ever that doesn't look like movement, just a vibration that's moving up and down the spine. It can look like some more breath coming up and down the spine, or it can look like big movements. But none of that, it's not important what it looks like. It's that the path of energy from up and down the spine is clear, because that's the innate intelligence, that's the chi, that's the life force in the body. So I wanted to share that with you today, just a reminder that your body's amazing, your body's incredible, you have what it takes inside you, and when you can work together in a partnership with a spinal flow practitioner, I didn't get that out right, together with a spinal flow practitioner, that's where the magic happens, because they can help just get through those layers, remove the stress that's been stored, remove the blockages so there's more flow in this system. So that's what I wanted to share. If you've got questions on here, say hello and ask me any questions. I'm here to help you, to assist anything I can do on your healing journey. So I just wanted to, Catherine. Hi, Catherine. Oh, yes, faster, better healing, absolutely life-changing. That is correct. So it's also amazing. I actually met someone on the weekend, and they said to me, you know what? There's someone that hasn't done my training, but she's wanting to be a practitioner, and she was just sort of saying to me, I really, really believe that the body can heal everything. What do you think? And I was like, well, I'd like to say that as well. I really believe that when change happens in the system, everything's possible, because you're no longer the person that you were when you had the disease or illness. So my thing is, I like to hold that belief that the body's amazing, healing does happen, and that's based on what I've done my whole life. I have another question that's come in, and that's about, do I teach self-healing? I do for my practitioners, for the spinal flow, as part of the certification. One of the modules is on self-healing that you can do on your own, but you can teach others. And my book will come out at some stage. And when that happens, it's a whole book on what you can do at home. So I promise you I'll announce it on here when that does come out. We're still in publishing problems, but we're definitely going to get there. I just wanted to share that. Hi, Lucia. Hi, Carly. Would you speak about edema and where in the spine is the source? So really, it's hard. Thank you for asking me the question, but it's hard to say where the source is without having a feel of the body. So for me, if I had someone that had edema, the first thing I would do is have a feel and see what's going on in their body. So for them to come in, I'd, find out what's going on with them. But the first thing I want to do is an assessment. And how I do that was to assess the 7 gateways of the spine, to really have a look at the movement, see where there's blockages, see where there's flow. I'd like to have a look at the posture, see what's holding. And then I'd like to feel and palpate the vertebra. And that's what the spinal flow practitioners do, is they have a feel of every single vertebra to see where there's movement and where there's stuckness. Now, often around where there's areas of edema, it might be that there's layers of chemical stress that's stored in the spine. It might be, some type of swelling, but without meeting the person, everybody's individual. So I'd hate to say edema equals that, because that's not true. What happens is that people have, different types of blockages and stress stored, different types of layers. So the best way we can find out where it's coming from is to get that person on the table, do an assessment with one of our spinal flow practitioners, and actually have a feel and do the assessments to see where that's coming from. So, and that's what I say to everybody. Like, it's really, so many people have Google now, and they're Googling this means that, but it's not true. You're not your disease, you're not your condition, you're not what you've been diagnosed. Someone told me really early days that diagnosis was die to and agno, no idea. So it's kind of like two of you haven't got much of an idea. And that's what I feel by, diagnosing on a live chat. I can't do that, because we're all so individual. And you can have someone that's got edema or back pain and they've got a blockage right up here in the neck. You can have someone that's got a blockage down below, or you could have someone with a huge amount of chemical stress. You can have someone that's got edema, that's got the worst diet, the worst nutrition, and you can have someone also that's eating really well, but it's coming in because of the emotional blockage is in there. So it's really important to know that we're all individual, we're all unique, and we've all had different lives. Like, we've all had different lives, and that sort of made up who we are. And you know what I love? My favorite thing is to watch people's bodies. Like, I love watching when I have a look at someone's body and I have a look at their posture and I have a feel of it. I love being able to tell what's happened in their lives, because I can feel the chemical, the emotional, the physical stress. I can see how many layers there are. And I love teaching that to my spinal flow practitioners. So when they look at someone, they've got a really clear idea of what's happened in their life. But as soon as they get their hands on them and do the assessment, it starts to be really clear of, I can see, or I can feel the emotional stress, or I know that this has been there for 10 years, or this has been there for 30 years. I love, that's one of my favorite things to do, is to really have a look at, because we are a combination of what's happened in our lives. How we hold our body is based on what's happened for us. So that's definitely one of my favorite party tricks. So I'm going to, I guess my biggest takeaway message from this call is that your body's unique. The way, even if you've been diagnosed something similar to someone else, it doesn't mean you're holding it in the same way. And also to know that there's a cleverness in that. If your body's holding and it's got muscles that are tight and it's protecting you, know that there's a wisdom. Your body's trying to protect you. Like, let your body do what it needs to do, because there's wisdom in that. When you put your hand on a hot plate and the brain says, "Ow," that message is smart. It's telling you, hey, that's not safe. That's the same as our bodies. If our body's holding us in a position or it's antalgic, it's actually trying to protect us. So we want to watch that and listen to that, but then inquire into, but why? Why is my body, not only why is my body doing this, but I'd like to get help and I want to go and see a spinal flow practitioner. Again, I can't tell you where my practitioners are in all the states and different places. Please jump onto the website, the Spinal Flow Technique website, and you can have a look and see the areas where they are. If there's not one in your area now, just check back, because, we have got more coming through. And next week I'm, overseas teaching. So I've got a beautiful group of people coming in to learn and to become spinal flow practitioners. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for taking the time to jump on here. You're important. Your body's important. Your health is important. And healing can be possible. So please hear that from me. If your body is doing something that you don't love and you just really want to live a better life, you want to feel better in the body that you have, definitely jump on our website and contact one of our practitioners. Mwah, big love.